voice, repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, recognize the God in you. Recognize the God in you. Feel the love and the unity. Feel the love and the unity. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together. 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 In the name of love. We come together. 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 In the name of love. Everyone's life. Every creed and color. And kinship unite. In honor of God and each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love and the unity. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. In the name of love. Good morning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And welcome, everybody. For all those out there, and for everybody on stage, Jason, Ken, Kevin, and Mike, welcome to another opportunity to share our light. I think it's all of our lights. And welcome. My name is Nancy Woods. I am the assistant minister here at the Granada Hill Center for Spiritual Living. And we welcome all of you who have joined us in this chance to share what Spirit is in our life and how it flows through us. And help me welcome Reverend Lyons, who's our facilitator for today. And Jason on the back. Kevin on the back. And Mike, who's on the sound. Kevin on the back.
No K.
Okay, I just called him Jason. I realized that. It's Kevin on the back. All right. And we thank you for joining us. So, we have this process in which we start all our services here. It's one in which we have called a call to service, and it's lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people and all faiths and all sentient beings come from one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unified nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. So as Reverend Kathy lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic tradition, honoring the beliefs and practice of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle For Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And we light the 10th candle for those who are as yet unaware of spirit in their lives and the space that we hold for them in our hearts, in our center, and in our lives. And as Reverend Kathy lights the healing candle, please put, whether you want to say it aloud or silently in your heart, into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flames of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own souls. There is one flame, one light within.
So join me as I speak my word in the first person for everyone here and everyone watching, recognizing that there is that one flame, that one life, and that's the life of God. And it's a life of complete love, it's health, it's wealth, creativity, peace of mind, and receptivity. And I am one with this one flame of God, this one life. I am one with its love, health, wealth, creativity, peace, and receptivity. And so as I proclaim today that it's a perfect idea in the mind of God, that this service is just filled with God's love, that God's loving flame burns with each and every one of us, and that we feel this peace of God and this love of God, this health of God, wealth and creativity of God, and that we are open and receptive to today's message, and just open and receptive to new good in life, and open and receptive to guidance. And so with a grateful heart, a deep, abounding, grateful heart for all these blessings, I release my word to the law. It is done, it is so, and together we say, and so it is. Good morning, everyone. And today, since our talk today that Reverend Nancy's going to do is about a cheerful receiver, I thought I'd talk a little bit about the law of giving and receiving. The holiday season is now upon us, and so this is where we really practice that giving and receiving. We select gifts for loved ones and that we receive them. And life is about a balance of giving and receiving. And the giving and receiving is going to be different this year since we're not all going to meet in person or be going shopping in stores. But this is something that I love about this law of giving and receiving. There has to be a balance. Now, being a receiver doesn't mean being a taker. I'm sure all of you have been familiar with, but none of us are, of course, a taker. I had a relative years ago. He was a taker. He was very miserly. My mom would go to lunch with him, and he'd open his wallet at the end of the meal saying he forgot his money, his credit card. So my mom picked up the tab, and he loved going to people's homes for meals and never reciprocating. And this man, he might have been financially wealthy, but he didn't have a lot of friends. And when he passed away, he did not take that money with him either. That's more like being a taker. And I'm sure when Jesus said it's more blessed to give than receive, I think what probably he meant is not to be a taker. But being open and receptive to good is just as important as giving. And that a balance of that is important in relationships. And, when we talk about cheerfully receiving, that can be about accepting new good in our life, whether the 4 areas that I talked about in the opening treatment, loving relationships, being receptive to being healthy, feeling worthy of financial freedom, creative expression such as a successful career. But being a cheerful receiver, I think, is also being open and receptive to guidance, from that spirit within, that one flame within, inner guidance, and what's in our highest good. A lot of times, too, if we do want to create new good in our life, if we have a new goal that we haven't yet received, it might mean being receptive to what do we need to change or release. Maybe we need to be receptive that we no longer can think about our old limiting thoughts. Another thing, too, this past year, it's being receptive to change. I mean, being a cheerful receiver of change. A lot of things have changed in the last several months. Wearing a mask, standing in line to go to the store, doing more of my shopping online, all of that, not being able to meet my friends in person. And I do miss that, but I needed to be receptive to things can change, and I can still be a cheerful receiver and still choose to be happy and content nonetheless. So I believe, too, meditation is a good way to be receptive to guidance. We do at the center here visioning meetings twice a month, and we haven't been meeting as often since the last several months, but that was about being receptive, about, we'd ask these questions, what do I need to change? What do I need to release? What do I need to know? And it was being like an invitation to spirit for guidance. And that can be, we do it to create new good for the center and having our center thrive, but it can also be in our personal life too. We can use this same guiding spiritual principle. As it says in Matthew 7, verse 8, for everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it will be opened. So be receptive, and, new good will open to you. So, Ernest, I'd like to just close with something that Ernest Holmes says on page 626 of this textbook. There is that within me which knows, understands, accepts, believes, and embodies. I know, and I know that I know. I believe, I am conscious that I believe. I am confident of the power of my own word and have implicit reliance upon the truth. I accept truth to operate. Happy holidays, and so it is.
All right, good morning, you guys. Thank you for having me today. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. This song is a lot of fun.
all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing and there's no way we ever could. I see everything that's going wrong with the world and those who lead it. We feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. So we keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. Yeah, we keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. It's hard to be persistent when we're standing at a distance. So we keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. Now if we had the power to bring our names forward, they would have never missed a Christmas snow or ribbons on their door. You trust the television, what you get is what you got. When they own the information, oh, they can bet it all they want. So while we're waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change, oh, we keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change. It's not that we don't care, we just know that the fight ain't fair. So we keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. So now let's stand for our declaration of principles. We believe in one universal spirit manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe the universal spirit is personal to and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe our faith operates upon a law of mind which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life and the immortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
So blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just love the way that song is. Right? And so you're waiting for the world to change. Huh? I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Love it.
All right. So I think that, let me see if I can get this on. All this month, we've been talking about living as a passionate conduit. You know, when I heard this the first time, I didn't quite get it. But now I kind of, as Reverend Mike has been talking about it, I really begin to understand and appreciate what is talking about, because we are the avenue through which spirit flows. And this week, I get the opportunity to talk about the grateful, cheerful receiver. And I was thinking that it's an excellent title for today. Often, when we think about being in the spiritual realm, we think about giving. But there is the second aspect of that, and it's actually the receiver. And I think that most of us are familiar with the giving part in spirituality. But I'm not too sure that we are in alignment with the receiving part of it. So when I took on this topic and I was thinking about speaking on it, I did a kind of a treatment because I felt like there was probably something here for me to learn myself. And so I wanted to start off by actually sharing the treatment I did for myself. And it says, Holy Spirit, guide me and express through me my thought process, that I may learn and share that learning of how to balance and enhance receiving. Receiving the divine flow of life, to know and embrace the greater good of life in all ways with love, compassion, and joy, allowing the divine flow and let it reflect my being as my life, reflect to my being and my life. For I am willing and receptive to be a demonstration of oneness. Oneness that demonstrates that the giver and the receiver reflect the harmony of being, both the masculine and the feminine, and to be able to discern and nurture with compassion and harmony. Now, that's what came through. But one of the things I noticed that when I was doing this, it came through according to what I have been experiencing in life. So today's topic about being grateful and a cheerful receiver is really something that all of us are involved in. This quote up here, I think that it came from the group that wrote the notes for this week, and I really appreciate what they did. And I think that this reference, it really sums up the way this came through me. Often people refer to being a cheerful giver, and that's in Corinthians 9:6-7. But as we know from the law of circulation, giving and receiving is a reciprocal ebb and flow of the yin and the yang. When we accept, we are in the flow as God gives itself, as each of its incarnations. And we are God incarnated. So when I thought about this, and as we talk about, we as spiritual beings are continuing to learn, and we're learning how to receive and how to be gracious as we accept the good that comes into our life. And I thought it was interesting that this topic came up 2 days before Giving Tuesday, which we as a group, as a church, we support this idea. So I'm going to invite you to join us and in our effort to support this center by joining us on Giving Tuesday as we have our fundraiser to bring our good in such a way that we are able to continue to share and understand the Spirit, our understanding of Spirit itself. And we as spiritual beings, we continue to grow and learn. And we learn how to accept our good graciously. And when we look at the idea that Spirit gives to us, Ernest Holmes says, the universal spirit is impersonal. It gives alike to all. It is no respecter of person. It values each alike. Its nature is to impart, ours to receive. And we stand in the light. We cast a shadow. When we stand in the light, we cast a shadow across the pathway of our own experience. Emerson advised that we get our bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuit. And one of the things that came up is that we are not a bloated nothings. We are the spirit of life. But we do have this egotistical way of seeing things sometimes that actually blinds us from seeing how spirit is constantly given to us. And I think that when we realize that the oneness of life is the truth of our being, we throw away this idea of duality. And when Emerson said, get your bloated nothingness out of the way, I was thinking, okay, it is really dealing with how we as individuals will get in our own way of our good for when it wants to flow through us. And we think that we have to make it come or make it happen. And that's experiencing duality, because we are losing touch with the fact that we are spirit itself. And so this concept of duality is then it becomes the bloated nothingness that blocks us from receiving the good. And duality is just, if we look at duality, because duality, if you think about it, is spirit's creation here on this plane. Duality is just a way life demonstrates itself. And as long as we resist or object to duality, we give it our power. And we are no longer flowing with the truth of what it's representing. And it has power over us, and it interferes with how we are expressing. This is how we have made duality, the idea of a duality, as a problem, or something that we are trying to get rid of. We don't need to get rid of anything here. We need to learn how to flow with it. Everything that's here has a good to it, and if we learn how to flow with it, and duality is one of the greatest, I think, ways in which we do a disjustice to ourselves. Because duality of life is just spirit giving us another way to experience its expanded presence in life. It demonstrates, helps demonstrate the greatness of the oneness of life. The giver and the receiver are one. That's what we have to understand. That which gives is that which receives. The giver and the receiver are one. So when we think that we're supposed to be giving and these people are taking and taking, and these two things are kind of separating us and making us think that this is something different. It's something uniquely different from the other. But the giver and the receiver must be seen as one. It's like duality even demonstrates it when you take a breath, and each time you exhale carbon dioxide so that the trees is part of nurturing with the trees. But as you nurture that tree, you realize that that tree throws out the oxygen so it can support us in being. This is duality in another way, but it is the beauty of it. It feels as it demonstrates itself. It is how we, as human beings, experience this duality as a wondrous, beautiful demonstration of its presence on this plane. And the harmony and beauty of this demonstration gives us a greater understanding of how the divine flow of life is taking place around us and through us. Duality is as the oneness of life expressing its infinite way of being. Another example of this is how the masculine and feminine of aspects of life is misunderstood. We have both in us, and we don't want to throw any of it away, but we don't necessarily have to be less feminine or less masculine as we demonstrate the beauty of spirit itself. But we embrace our individual aspects when we, as feminine beings, discern with love and compassion. And we embrace ourselves as masculine in a loving and compassionate way when we discern what is going on. Rumi, who is a tremendous spiritual poet, who says, we must be the lion and the deer, because there is time when the strength becomes a part of how we should approach life. But there's also a gentleness in the way we do it that we may bring a greater level of awareness to what is unfolding and what is taking place in our life. And I think how he describes it is that the lion lion aspect of our being is necessary when a person is hesitant and needs to be encouraged to step up into their own power. But we also want to be the deer so that we can do that encouragement in a loving and gentle way. So it's not that we throw any aspect of ourselves away. We bring it more into alignment and to make a greater transformation into that oneness of life. There is this lady that writes. It's actually from Rumi. She writes about Rumi, and her name is Fairchild, Atlanta Fairchild. And she says, to take the great transformation from man or woman into the cosmic androgyny does not require that we lose our sense of femininity or masculinity. Rather, they become so superior in the development of their individual selves that they cease to be able to distinguish one from the other. Our masculine clarity, with its discernment, practicality, and application, becomes so tender, loving, and compassionate, and tempered with grace that the feminine is integrated through its presence. Our feminine nurturing, our feminine ability to nurture and dedication and connection to life becomes so fierce that this discernment and wise action naturally prevail. This is a true view of how that duality of being becomes the perfect unity of oneness. Because when we try to throw it away, we lose the beauty of it. We lose the wonder of it. And these words bring us, these understanding of the masculine and feminine, or the lion and the deer, all bring us to a greater understanding of how these energies can blend. So as we look at this and we see ourselves as growing through this, we can understand and be the person that we are fully meant to be. Because there is that energy in each one of us, that masculine and feminine energy. But we are able to be feminine and still carry the fruits of it, the masculine through. And we can be masculine and still carry the fruits of the feminine too. And that's where duality begins to demonstrate itself. Just as the oxygen and the carbon dioxide becomes a process that I experience and the tree experience, because the tree absorbs the carbon dioxide and lets off the oxygen. I absorb the oxygen and lets off the carbon dioxide. You see the unity. It's that unity that really produces the beauty of the oneness of life. It is so beautiful when we understand what role duality plays in our life, and it no longer has power over us, driving us to do things like compete in such a way in which we are putting one above the other, or that we are knocking each other. It demonstrates the wonder and the beauty of the divine presence in anyone. There was a psychologist, a Jungian psychologist, Robert Johnson. He wrote a book back in the 76, I think it was, somewhere in the 70s, where he wrote a book on he, she, and we. And in that book, he kind of talks about that, how we have the she and the he and the we, and what we do is that she may gather the lamb's wool off the vines, and he may be the one that go and shave it off. Both of them are very effective in what they do, and they can blend that, and that wool is still usable by both sides. It is so amazing when you look at life from the place of realizing that all things here has a beauty to it. It has a unity to it. And if we can all see it, then we can really grasp, understand, and appreciate each other instead of seeing ourselves as being against each other, because that takes away from all of us, and we can receive. And what I got was that the receiving, in order to for the giver to keep on giving, there has to be a receiver, and that we have to develop ourselves from both aspects of being. And it's not taken away from one or the other. It's knowing the unity of the activity and the beauty of Spirit's demonstration of that activity on this plane. So we all, and what I got is that we all are here learning about giving and receiving. But the oneness of life has given us so many ways in which to learn the beauty of this. And he started with the masculine and feminine aspects of being, or with the trees, how we share with nature in the trees. And that's just numerous ways this idea of a duality has demonstrated that giving and receiving is such a fabulous process. And as we grow and expand our understanding of spirituality, we grasp this. We grasp it. And we understand that our awareness of the divine oneness, of the oneness of our own being, helps us be a greater conduit of Spirit's flow in life. So the joyous and loving idea of being a receiver can be just as beautiful as the joy and loving is being the giver. And I really, really appreciate the idea and understanding that Spirit gave us an opportunity to grow into this and to learn it. And when we start looking for ways that we can embrace life, all the life around us, these are the things that come. And I realized when I understood this last night, it said, oh, I don't have to fight being the duality of life. Because I thought I had to throw the duality away in order to embrace the oneness. But if it's on this plane, you got to realize it's presented from a duality perspective. The oneness of God is all of it. God is all of it, not some of it, not part of it. It is all of it. And our experience is learning how to balance that by the understanding the duality, and all the many examples teaches us. And the growing and expanding in spiritual understanding is phenomenal with just knowing it and practicing that. It's so rich, and it helps us, especially people like myself who are thinking that it's supposed to be give, that receiving is a part of the process. So I wrote this affirmation that they gave us. And it says, I stand with my body and heart open to the goodness, and I know that there is nothing that separates me from the river of life that flows through me as I give and I receive. This is such rich words, rich. And I think that this our affirmation as I ask the musicians to come back up and sing. Let's say this together. I stand with my body and heart open to goodness, and I know that there is nothing that separates me from the river of life that flows through me as I give and receive. And thank you for letting me share this.
Hey, you guys. This is one of my favorite songs. I took my love, I took it down. I climbed a mountain, I turned around. And I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills till the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? I don't know. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, children get older, and I'm getting older too. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, children get older, and I'm getting older too. Yeah, I'm getting older too. So take this love and take it down. If you climb a mountain and turn around, and if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, the landslide bring it down, down. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, the landslide bring it down.
inside, bring it down.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Oh. The left side, bring it down. Okay. I like that song. I gotta listen to that again.
It's beautiful. I love that song.
Who wrote it?
Who wrote that song?
Stevie Nicks.
Is it a Stevie Nicks song?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, no, she did it.
Yeah,
Stevie Nicks.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. I have to confess, I had not heard it before.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so we're going to talk about giving. You know, before I do that, this coming Tuesday, on I think Reverend Mike has it on Facebook, we're going to have what we call Giving Tuesday. And it's one of our main fundraisers. And I think that this is a nice way to step into the process of the divine flow. And I think that the opportunity to give to this center, it kind of opens the door for even more good to pour into our lives. And I always think of that when I'm writing my checks for the center. I think that, okay, Spirit is giving me a chance to do this. So that means that there's going to be more chances to be in the flow because it comes through me. And and it kind of happens that way. So I'm going to invite you to join us this coming Tuesday as we do our giving. We call it Giving Tuesday. So, and it should be on Facebook online. But meanwhile, if you want to just join us in our regular giving process, I have to say that this is on our website, cslgh.org. And there's a donate button, and if you click on this donate button, it'll take you to this portal where you can either donate by PayPal or use your credit card. And if it's on your phone, you scroll down until you find this donate button on our webpage. And if you click on that, it will take you to the same portal of, and you can either donate by credit card or PayPal there. And on our YouTube channel, there is a place for you to click on, and it too will take you to that portal. And Facebook, you click on that donate button, and it all will take you to that portal. Or you may use the traditional way of CSLGH. This is our address if you want, which we still get a lot of our mail-in donations. And so Reverend Mike says that automatic giving, if you put us on your bill pay, it would automatically happen. And you won't have to worry about whether you did it this month or not, which I deal with sometime. But join us this coming Tuesday as we do our fundraiser on Giving Tuesday. And so we ask our musicians to take us into this beautiful song.
3, 4. The Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me, Spirit gives through you, Spirit receives through you, Spirit lives
So it's with a consciousness of gratitude and acceptance that I think and bless the gifts that we have in this basket and the gifts to come and the gifts that are going to pour in through Tuesday. As we open our hearts and our minds and our whole being to allow ourselves to step into and be in an avenue through which Spirit has said yes to life, and know that we are able to bless many as the blessings from this church go forth to bless not only its members, its community, and all those that participate in it, but it blesses the city of LA, and it blesses the country, who can use a lot of loving uplifting right now. And we are able to do that, and we continue to do that as we bless not only each other, but we bless how we blend and have our differences and be able to appreciate and embrace each other, even though there is a difference. And as we go forth to know that these blessings not only bless this country, but all the countries around the world. And we bless all the people around the world. And we bless the presence of this universal presence that is saying yes to us continuously as we give and receive. So for this and all that participate and are reaching out today, we say thank you. And together we acknowledge this and the law that is from bringing it forth as the law of attraction, as we say. And so it is. So we thank you, and we invite Reverend Kathy to come up and bless us out.
So join me, please, as I speak in the first person for each one here, recognizing this one power, this one presence, this one spirit, which is God, which is balance and harmony and love and giving and receiving. And I am one with this presence of God. I'm one with this spirit of love, balance, harmony, giving and receiving. And so as I hereby say right now, I make this declaration, affirmation, that I am open and receptive, that I give generously and I'm open and receptive to receive abundantly, and that there is this perfect balance in my life of giving and receiving, that I joyously receive, knowing that when I joyfully receive, others feel that joy in me receiving, and as I give, I feel that joy seeing people open and receptive to my giving. And I know right now that there is complete balance in my life of being active, being receptive, being reflecting, and then taking action. I just know right now that there is that perfect balance in my life because it is all God, all good, all loving and creative. And so how blessed I am, how grateful I am to be here today and having that receptivity in my life. I give thanks that the law of circulation is active in my life right now as I give generously, receive abundantly, and joyfully. And so with a grateful heart, I release my word to the law. It is done, it is so, and together we say, and so it is.
Please join us in singing the peace song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, hold on one second. I do not have the music. That wouldn't be good at all. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was meant to be, with God as the power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in
step I take, let this be my joyous vow to take